What I would say to those people who think they've got away with being involved in the disorder on Tuesday or on Saturday, you absolutely haven't got away with it. We are coming for you. We've got hours of social media footage. We've got hours of CCTV footage. I've got officers working round the clock to identify who you are, where you live, where you work. We are coming for you. We'll be coming for you for the next few days. We'll be coming for you for the next few months. So you might get to next week. You might be sitting with a cup of tea thinking, phew, I've got away with it. Please let me reassure you, you haven't got away with it. We are coming for you. You will feel the full force of the law. I want to reassure the communities that we are absolutely able to cope with what's going on. We have got 8 PSUs here in Merseyside today. So what do I mean by a PSU? Each PSU has 1 inspector, 3 sergeants and 21 officers. That gives you the scale of the number of officers that we've got able to respond, being supported by colleagues across the Northwest. So yes, we are equipped. Are the officers who are getting injured having an impact? Yes, it is. But we absolutely have sufficient resources to cope.
All right. I think I have to play that again, because when I first watched it, I thought it was ridiculous, but like sufficiently real ridiculous. Now I'm watching that and I'm saying, if there's this British guy who does these sort of like deadpan parody where nobody knows it's parody. He's like the Angelina Belcamino or whatever that bold 42-year-old lib lady is from the American side. It's a British comic. He's so deadpan, you don't know that it's parody, and you don't know that it's parody. Now, I saw this the first time. I was like, oh, this is hilarious. Now I'm not sure. I'm not sure that this isn't parody. I mean, Luke Rudkowski posted it. We're going to see this. I think it's real. I mean, I'm going to have to. Okay, hold on. Her name is. I can't see too good. Constable Serena Kennedy. I'm going to double check that this is actually real afterwards, because if you wanted to make this parody and you wanted to make this look sufficiently serious, yet humorously idiotic to the point of idiocracy type satire, what would you do differently? No, hold on. What did we say her name was? Serena Kennedy. Hold on. We're going to bring her back. And I'm saying, bring her back. I'm avoiding the obvious joke. Constable Serena Kennedy. SPU. She's from the SPU. Like, what would you do differently? Okay, no, it's real. Okay, fine. At least we know it's not fake. I'll bring it up in a second. Because you have to say, like, if you were going to make something that's going to be similarly deadpan parody where it's a joke, but nobody knows it's a joke and you can't really be sure, what would you be doing differently? You would have a very forceful androgynous police officer who you would actually be forced to ask for pronouns for in order to make sure that you weren't making a mistake. You would have bring myself back up here. You would have an androgynous police constable spewing the most what's the word I'm looking for? Cliched statements that you would ever expect of a joke of a police officer in woke times. It would be this. Let me just hear what she says again.
What I would say to those people who think they've got away with being involved in the disorder on Tuesday or on Saturday, you absolutely haven't got away with it. We are coming for you.
We are coming for you. Like, it would be the joke. Like, all right, you're on a badass cop. We're coming for you. Oh, you're sipping your tea. Let's get to the tea
hours of social media footage. We've got hours of CCTV footage. I've got officers working round the clock to identify who you are, where you live, where you work.
I mean, this sounds like someone's describing the Terminator. Like, we are British police Terminators. We will not stop until you are behind bars. I'm getting all my accents mixed up here.
We are coming for you. We'll be coming for you for the next few days. We'll be coming for you for the next few months. So you might get to next week. You might be sitting with a cup of tea thinking, phew.
I mean, you might be sitting with a cup of tea. It's like a joke. It's like if you were going to do this with an Italian police officer, you'd say, hey, you might be there with your pasta in a week and we're coming for you. Like, this is all stereotype, cliched tropes is the word I'm looking for. You might be sipping your tea, brushing your teeth, because British people, they don't have very good teeth. Eating your, what do? They boil fish in milk in England. It's disgusting. I know, look, I won't be mean, but they do weird things with food there. You might be sitting there sipping on your tea, eh? Fresh with the streets of governors from Sussex, yeah? And we're going to come and get you.
I've got away with it. Please let me reassure you, you haven't got away with it. We are coming for you. You will feel the full force of the law.
You will feel the full force of the law. Oh, Jake, hold on. Jake, you got to disable your camera, man. Hold on. All right. You can't. Okay, forget it. Guys, that's my intro, but hold on. Let's bring this out. Can you unmute yourself? Jake Chansley is popping on from prison, it seems. Hold on. Do you unmute or do I unmute you? Let me see if I can do this. Oh, there you go.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
God
Dude.
bless you. Viva, my brother.
All right, so everybody, I didn't want to announce this because I wasn't sure if it was actually going to happen. And what a fitting segue, because I was going to say how that nutcase Constable Serena Kennedy is like building up her own January 6th, the weekend of violence up in London, England, in Hull. It's like now it's their January 6th. They're going to come after everyone who ever stepped foot anywhere within the vicinity of a missile being thrown at a building. But if anybody doesn't know, Jake Chansley, people.
No, Jacob Lang. That Jake Chansley's
I'm
one
sorry.
with the horns.
I'm sorry. Well, first of all, I'm not an idiot. I did know that, but Jake Lang. I mean, fresh out of 40 days of solitary. Jake, look. For those who don't know, you're one of the Jan 6'ers. I know there's some controversy around you because some of the other, and I'm saying this non-judgmentally, some of the other bona fide non-violent Jan 6'ers don't like being lumped with you, who carried out certain acts by your own statements on the day of. You qualified as self-defense, and I think many people would, or reactionary. Others would say, you fuck around with cops and you'll find out. So there's some controversy. I don't want to get into it because I don't care to get into it. It's not useful for the purposes of what we're discussing. You were just thrown into solitary for 40 days.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's just devastating. This is. I've been explaining it this way. This is kind of like the end game approach, like the final stages of what a tyrannical regime, a Marxist regime, will do to a political prisoner. Eventually, if you get further down enough the evolution, like of being a political prisoner, of speaking out and refusing to shut up and sit down, then eventually they'll just toss you in a hole and throw away the key. They'll cancel your legal visits. They'll put you in a cell that reeks of feces and urine. They even put me at one point with an MS-13 gang member, and that was right when he was listening to the radio, and that was right when Trump was calling out the MS-13 gang members. And so you've got this, bona fide MAGA Trumper in a prison cell with an MS-13 gang member who's been convicted of multiple murders, and he's like, your president, the guy that you're voting for, the guy that you're rooting for, is in like a diametric opposition to me and my cause. And so it was a little weird trying to navigate that relationship there, but we were doing Bible studies. God's hand has been over me this whole entire time, Viva. He's kept me safe. I'm in the middle right now of an extremely violent gang prison. We're just coming off of a 3-week lockdown for another murder that happened back to back to the last murder. And all of the OGs, which is the people that have done a lot of time, they've said they've been in dozens of different prisons all across the country, and they've never seen 2 murders back to back within like a 40-day span. Where I'm at is the most violent prison in America by far. And I just posted another thing on my Twitter. A federal judge refused to send another inmate here. He said he's actually commuting his sentence because this is a barbaric facility. That's the words of a federal judge.
Where are you?
I'm in Brooklyn, MDC, Brooklyn, New York. I'm in the hood. I'm in a federal prison in the hood.
And now, Jake, I'm going to present things not from both sides, just like I'll preempt what people's critique is. I'm not getting into the controversy of you, and your role on January 6th. You've been locked up since you've been arrested. It's been 3 years now, 2.5.
1,300 days, going on 3 years and 9 months now.
Okay.
I was arrested 10 days after January 6th, held without bond. I've been denied bond 3 times. I have no criminal record. For people who don't know my story, the quickest way to find out about it is to go to j6truth.org. That's our website where we put out the #1 viewed video ever on Rumble, the documentary called The Truth About January 6th. And inside that video, that documentary, you'll see a video of me saving the life, by God's grace and his blessing, of Philip Anderson. And so that's a young black man that was almost killed by the Capitol Police. So yes, I have charges where I went up against, obviously, these murderers, but I also, tried to do the right thing and save people's lives. It was a dangerous situation.
And now there's another element of controversy is that people think, you're in, I don't know how you get the cell stuff. I mean, I think I know whatever you're doing.
This is a prison that's in the hood. I mean, the prison guards here, they bring in fentanyl. People are dying. They bring in everything. And so I'm just one of the, literally probably hundreds, if not maybe even thousands of inmates that have access to these phones here. And it's a blessing for me because I try to use it to speak out and say, political prisoners are being tortured in America. Our First Amendment rights are being trampled. Our due process rights are non-existent. And so the administration has come against me super hardcore. Actually, just on Thursday, they ran in my cell again and they caught me with a phone. I will be going back to solitary confinement very soon once I'm found guilty of the, the write-up that they sent me. So this is kind of like my farewell to the election.
Well, and I like not to preempt what people's critique is. Okay, you're in jail breaking rules, and they're obviously gonna lock you up and whatever. I mean, I don't care that you might. I think you're quite obviously an activist from within jail, and they'll do with activists what they do with activists. But the bottom line is, whether or not you are the face of you're not the face of the representative of every one of the Jan 6'ers, but you're certainly your own face, and you've been locked up for 3.5 years. People will say, well, you're going to get convicted anyhow for what you did. So the time you're serving now is time that's going to get cut off after conviction. As if that justifies anything. The punishment should fit the crime, and it should fit the crimes that the people committed in the summer of 2020, which it doesn't. So all that being said, they locked you up for 40 days. It was on, what was the word that they gave for what happened to you the last time? Like breaking the rules.
Yeah, obviously they consider being able to do the things that I do hazardous to the safety and security of the facility. And so they actually locked me up for that, for this, being able to do these things, the interviews that I do. And they said I did a group demonstration for the 12-day hunger strike. And I have to tell you, Viva, and everybody listening, God's grace is sufficient. You can go 12 days without eating and still have joy and strength in your heart. I did 12 days by God's grace. I lost about 25 pounds, and I was able to do Bible studies every day in solitary confinement, screaming outside my door all the way down this long corridor. Imagine this dark, damp, long corridor with a bunch of other restless souls that are all hurting in solitary confinement. And God put it in my heart to preach the gospel. And this is the most amazing thing ever. By Jesus' name be glorified. I baptized the man in the cell next to me through the cell wall. He got into the shower and we said a prayer, and through all of the ministry that we were doing, he gave his life over to Christ. So this is the fruits of, sometimes in the worst and the most dark circumstances, God can even use you if you just allow yourself to be used and, just remain faithful and remain true to the calling that he put in your heart. Even when, because I had everything taken from me. They took my commissary, they took my legal calls, they took my letter writing ability. I had no communication going in or out of the jail for 40 days. It was the most draconian, anti-American First Amendment violation ever. When you take a man's voice from him, when he can't call his family, his lawyer, anything, it's like literally treating them like an animal. I mean, being able to communicate and forge relationships is the essence of our humanity. And so to have that taken from me, but to still be able to be used by God in that place, to be able to reach the other men that were up there. And we had multiple men crying out, drug addicts and lifelong gang members that were giving their life over to God up there in solitary. So I'm actually kind of excited to go back because the ministry potential and the potency, you have such literally a captive audience. And so, I'll be back and I'll be doing God's work up there. And I'm not afraid because I know the work that we're doing both inside and outside the jails is going to lead to a better America for our kids and for our posterity.
And I'm reading some of the chat, and I sort of take for granted.
Yeah, for people that don't think I'm in. I mean, there's your steel buff.
I forget that.
Right?
The funny thing is, people say, "Well, you're there because you deserve it," and then others say you're not there. So like, you can't respond to everybody. But what I was going to say is, for those who don't know, Jake Lang is one of the Jan 6'ers who's been locked up for 3.5 years now. And I did an interview with you a while back, so people could go check it out. But it's torture. So they sent you in there for breaking the rules. I forget what the term is. They wrote you up and they lock you away in solitary. And now, from what I understand, they filed a superseding indictment to sort of compensate for the charges that were dropped because of the
Supreme Court,
the Fisher decision. So
yeah, so this is the most blatant in the 21st century. This is the most blatant example of retaliatory political persecution. The prosecutors are now becoming political pawns for the Democrat Party, and where the DOJ took the biggest black eye ever that it's ever had. Over 360 of their convictions for this 20-year maximum felony 1512 charge and the charge that they put on Donald Trump. The Supreme Court struck it down. It's a massive blunder. It shows the overzealous and overreaching capacity of the federal prosecutors. And so we won in Supreme Court. but they weren't allowing us to just get a big notch under our belt like that. They have now decided to retaliate against me exactly 30 days before my trial was scheduled to start on September 9th, on August 9th, just a few days ago on Friday. They filed a superseding indictment with another felony charge on me, you know, all surrounding this situation where Roseanne Boylan was murdered by the Capitol Police in an act of insane police brutality, and dozens of men, including a man that just got 20 years. One of my best friends, David Dempsey, on Friday was sentenced to 20 years in prison for trying to defend this woman as she was being murdered by the Capitol Police. Obviously, it was a dynamic scenario where people needed to be protected, and we stood up. We did what American men should do. We protect unarmed women from any force, tyrannical or anybody that's going to bully and push around unarmed protesters. The men stood up, and I found myself in that scenario. And now this last 1,300 days without a trial, without bond, has become just like I guess like an epic or a trilogy of just what the Justice Department is willing to do to Americans that refuse to back down, that refuse to give in to all of this, Marxist new age tyranny that we're going under, this regime, the Biden and Harris regime. If you guys mark my words, if I say anything, this whole entire thing will continue these persecutions until you don't have men with, quote unquote, violent charges. You're going to have mothers from school board hearings that don't want to have their kids sexualized with drag queen story hours. They'll be thrown in solitary confinement and tortured. There's an evolution going on here. First, they come for the Jan 6'ers. Then they come for the conservatives. Then they come for the Christians. And eventually we're living in some type of, autocratic, 1984 George Orwellian style society where everybody's afraid to speak out, to protest, to exercise their rights, because the government will come and trample you down. And that's what we're living in. That's the example they're trying to make of me and the Jan 6'ers so that you don't exercise your rights.
I mean, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, I mean, how's been the show? What's going on where you're at? You were locked up in the same cell as an MS-13 convicted murderer, or neighboring cell?
So as soon as I came off my hunger strike, I was in solitary confinement for 2 weeks. Then they put me in the cell with another man, and then they switched me from that cell to the MS-13 gang member. He was 6'4", about 270 pounds, but he knew God. He'd been repenting for his sins for a while. He's, stepping back from his life in MS-13. He was like, 40-something years old. He had a whole entire life story of just incredible tragedy. And we read the Bible every day together. But at the end of the day, you have to think that they don't know this man's heart. All they know is that MS-13 members behead people. And he was in segregation, not because he did anything wrong, but because MS-13 gang members are not allowed in general population. They're actually listed, same as I am, as domestic terrorists in this new regime. They've labeled them as domestic terrorists. So they put one domestic terrorist, a Jan 6'er, with another one because we had similar tags in the BOPs, their different way they classify people. And so literally they're putting me with, I've been cellmates with ISIS members. I've been cellmates with MS-13 members. They put me with, the most violent and extremist foreign, literally terrorists, because they're trying to classify me the same way, just an American with no criminal record who stood up to defend our constitutional republic on January 6th. This is the treatment we're getting. And if you don't vote for Donald Trump, America, everybody listening, then you can expect this to happen and exacerbate to more and more and more of your fellow friends and citizens, not just the Jan 6'ers. It will happen to everyday Americans that are being plucked up for posting the wrong thing on social media. One day, one of your loved ones could get stuck in a cell with an MS-13 gang member for making the wrong post on Facebook. If we allow this to continue.
Now we're seeing it in the UK, and we're seeing it everywhere, the slow creep of statism, totalitarianism, whatever you want to call it, and the disparate treatment of similar crimes in as much as you even committed one. I just pulled up the article. 20 years for the other guy. Molotov cocktail lawyers out of New York. What did they get? A 1-year plea deal. I'm not even sure if it was that by the end of it. What can people do? Where can they? Well, can they reach you, and what can they do to help?
So what we want to do right now, guys, is we want to completely mobilize on the front for Donald Trump, because we've spent a lot of money, millions of dollars, getting lawyers and helping out Jan 6'ers for 3-4 years now. The gig is up. The money is best spent donating to Donald J. Trump, because I mean, of course, we'll take help with the commissary. Our families need emergency family funds. People are losing their houses, their cars are being repossessed, families are being ripped apart by the United States government. But we are at such a disadvantage in a Washington, D.C. courtroom. The prejudice and the slant against us is so, I mean, we've done studies on this. We literally hired out, paid $15,000 to a polling firm. And that data, if you want to pull it up on the shared screen, is on j6changeofvenue.com. We did a change of venue motion, and it shows that literally 70% of Washington, D.C. residents, who is our jury pool, says no matter what somebody did at the Capitol, j6changeofvenue.com. Yeah, there's the polling data. If you look at some of this data, 70% say no matter what somebody did at the Capitol, even if they stepped on Capitol grounds, they deserve to be in prison, do prison time. So we're fighting an uphill battle against impossible odds. We serve the God of impossible odds, and he's going to use Donald Trump to free us. So I want to call upon your audience today to go to donaldjtrump.com and make a donation on the Jane Sixers behalf, whatever you're going to put into our legal funds in our accounts, because I believe that that's the most prudent way to spend the money right now. We've tried every angle. We've filed motions to change the venue. We have filed every single type of selective prosecution motion trying to say that we're being treated differently than the Hamas protesters. We're being treated differently than BLM. None of it's worked. The judges have become blind to justice, and not in a good way. And the jury pool is so tainted that we need your help getting Trump in. So go to donaldjtrump.com, donate there. If you want to help out the Jan Sixers with our commissary, the website's sponsorj6.com.
All right, man. And one last question. Did you see the video of Trump barely escaping the assassination attempt?
God is good, and his hand cannot be moved or stirred by anything. His hand was on Trump. He deflected the bullet. I believe that it was going right for his head, and God's hand said, whoop, and swished it right out of the way. We serve an awesome God of great power, and if you let him take over your life, he's going to do the same for you and prosper you over your enemies. So there's my message. God bless you. Viva, I've got to go, and take care, and thanks for having me on. If you guys don't see me for a couple months, send some prayers my way. I'll be in solitary doing my ministry.
Okay, text me when you're out or with updates.
Thank you. Love you, brother. God bless.
Thank you.
Peace out, America. Vote Trump.
That's wild. Okay, so that was the unexpected. I thought that I wasn't sure if it was going to happen because we were timing, and just so you all know, I'm trying to work now on a fixed schedule. So I'm going to go for the 12:30 to give or take 2 o'clock time slot, and that's going to be the time slot that I'm going to try to stick to consistently. Because if I get one, not criticism, but one piece of constructive advice, it's Viva, get a time slot so people know and stick to it. And so I'm going to 12:30 because it's after Bongino, it's slightly after Russell Brand, and so it's before the quartering. We might overlap for a little bit. Redacted is typically on in the morning, and plus it's the best time of the day when the kids are at school, and there'll be nobody walking in screaming, crying, and whatever. So that is Jake Lang. He's been on a few times. He's been doing interviews from jail, and he's been getting punished for it. And people are saying, well, you do stupid things in jail, expect to get punished. And then you get other people saying he's not even in jail. I mean, I will not entertain the criticism of Jake Lang in the sense that I'm not going to get involved in it, and I'm not going to shit on somebody who's been locked away in solitary. I do believe he's been locked away in solitary. So if that turns out to be a lie and I'm getting duped there, then yeah, I'll reassess. But I'm going to be very, very non-judgmental on someone who has been locked away for 3.5 years, locked in solitary. I believe, it's an amazing thing that he has found God, and that God has allowed him to get through what he's been going through, because it's intended to break. It's intended to make people do harm to themselves. But I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, the guy's in jail. He's mouthing off and he's getting what he deserves. Fafo, he has now become something of an imprisoned activist, and the purpose of his activism may be self-interested, as some people say, because if Trump gets elected, they'll get pardoned or commutations after 3.5, 4 years in jail, solitary, after the torture. Pardons and commutations don't do jack squat after that. But I'm going to be very non-judgmental on someone in Jake's situation. And I appreciate there's some rift between the bona fide non-violent Jan Sixers who are getting the absolute injustice of the brunt of lawfare. And then other people are going to say, well, the violent ones, they're getting what they deserve. But except no, because they're getting a whole hell of a lot more than what comparable criminals, what comparable other individuals who committed comparable acts ever got. So the unjust application of the law is the injustice in all of this. And why? Because government sucks. Government is a necessary evil that should be kept to the absolute minimum. And unfortunately, we're living in quite the opposite of times where the federal government employs 2.8 million civilians. The federal government, I don't know if it's the biggest employer. I think it might be. And you can't trust the government. How do you know you can't trust the government? Because what we just lived through and what we're probably going to live through coming up to 2024 election, October's the president, who knows what else. An article from Moderna just recently, where was this from? July 2024. Moderna scores federal funding for mRNA bird flu vaccine as a new pandemic fear grows, which brings us to our sponsor of the day, the first, the wellness company. The fine folks at the wellness company, preparing us for what undoubtedly is coming down the line. We'd better pay attention because we're still living in perilous times. Assassination attempts, coups seeking to take over our government, and we're going to get to that in a bit. Cybersecurity threats, and we're just heating up. Now Forbes puts out an article, $176 million given to Moderna because they whipped up such a great jibby jab the first time. Let's give them another one. For the mRNA, for bird flu, another mRNA, because that also worked so well the first time. For the next pandemic, which is coming. They're gearing up for the next big pandemic, and we can't trust the establishment with our health any longer. We must take matters into our own hands now. I'm protecting my family with the Contagion Emergency Kit from the Wellness Company, and you can too. The kit's no joke. It's got frontline defense against whatever they throw at us next. It comes packed with ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, Z-Pax, Tamiflu, budesonide, along with a nebulizer, so you can rest easy knowing that you have the emergency meds on hand, along with a guidebook for safe use. Every American family needs at least one. It's like having an urgent care kit in the comfort of your own home. Go to the website. It's twc.com/Viva. Get your Contagion Emergency Kit now for the cost of a single doctor's visit. At the end of the day, just having these medications on hand is something that you will want and you will not have to worry about when or if the time comes. Be proactive, be prepared, take control of your health. Don't wait for the next crisis. TWC, Tango, Whiskey, Charlie, .health/Viva. $30 off at checkout using the code VIVA. Kits are only available in the USA. So Canada, I don't know how you got to do what you got to do, but you might not want to find yourself in a situation like we were the last time, where the poo-poo hits the fan, and then you realize that there are supply chain issues, and you might have trouble getting asthma medication, antibiotics, and whatever. Oh, because they're made in the countries that now have taken a hostile interest or an adversarial interest to us. Link is in the description. Now, speaking of the government being scoundrels, and we know it, liars, and some people saying, Vivo, get to the coup part. Get to the part where Biden admits that it was a freaking coup. A coup. I want to say like a coup. A coup. C-O-U-P. Remember when Biden came out, like right before he withdrew, and he said, yeah, if I got a medical reason, I'll withdraw. He never even got the valid medical reason to withdraw from the race. He just withdrew from the race. And we all knew what happened. I forget who said it. Anybody who can get me the intelligence official who said it's the intelligence principle, where it says, it's not what you know, it's when you know it, because you can't prevent people from discovering the truth. It will happen. But so long as you can engage when they learn the information, you can control the responses to it. You can stem the outrage. You can prevent massive backlash if you just trickle with the information, and you satisfy people's appetite as they go along. Oh, I got a little nugget here. Oh, okay, fine. They're going to have a contested election, a contested convention because Obama said so. Okay, fine. I'm happy for the next 4 days. Oh, wait a minute. No contested convention. They're just going to select her. Oh, well, at least I got over that element. We knew that this was a coup. We knew that Joe Biden was forced out. He's a stubborn old man who did not want this to be his legacy. But then we started seeing how they were persuading Biden, just showing him what the future is going to look like. If you back out Biden, we're going to astroturf your legacy. It's going to be a great legacy. We're going to tell the world you were the greatest president ever and you withdrew for the benefit of America. And if you don't do it, Joe, we're going to effing 25th your ASS. And he did an interview yesterday. Just see something here. We did an interview yesterday. Booyah, we got a new subscriber. I don't have a bell yet. Ding, 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 getting Ace of Hearts subscribed at our vivabarneslaw.locals.com community. Welcome to the above average board, Ace _of _hearts. We got the Joe Biden did an interview, and the wonderful thing, I'll tell you a funny story of my grandmother. She was 100. She lived to 103. She was diagnosed with early onset dementia when she was, I want to say 85. So she lived like, the only tragedy of my grandmother's life is that she lived longer as a widow than she lived as a married woman. My grandfather died when I was 2. So that would have been 40 years ago. When she died, it had been like 30 years that she had been living a widow. But she was diagnosed with early onset dementia at 80 some odd years old and lived to 103. The one thing you know about, they say it's like, the darndest things come out of children's mouths and the damnedest things come out of people who are suffering from dementia's mouths, because on the occasion it'll be like craziness, other times it'll just be unfiltered honesty. And so we were at this restaurant and there was I won't even get into it because some people might not find it a humorous. They might think I'm speaking ill of the deceased. It was a humorously honest assessment that most people would not have said in the manner in which my grandmother said it. And I was like, damn, grandma, you're not holding back. So you can trust occasionally, like when you get old and senile and demented, it's not all gibberish. Every now and again, it's the unfiltered honesty. And Joe Biden had one of those moments last night in an interview he gave with chief propagandist. I don't know what the guy's name is. He kind of looks like he's really pulling a Fred Savage vibe. Where is the actual quote? Because there were 2 quotes. Crap. Hold on a second. I got to go get it. I think I might not have had the right quote. He did an interview on one of the propagandist networks and basically made the admission that's just, stunning. Here we go. They're right here. Does everyone appreciate what Joe Biden just said right here? This is the admission. Saying the quiet part out loud as children do and as senile old people do when they forget not to say certain things. Here. Bada bing, bada boom. Does everyone understand what Joe Biden just said? Let's play this. Start this here. And while this plays, I'm just going to... I'll get it afterwards.
Let's begin with your decision. You're at your home.
Let's begin with... This is... By the way, this guy right here is supposed to be a journalist. He's supposed to be a chief White House or elections correspondent. He is a propagandist. He is the man that curates the answers in advance to come out of Joe Biden. He's not sitting there to ask Joe anything of a remotely relevant, hard question. He's there to package Joe Biden as a selfless, patriotic American hero who made the hardest decision ever to screw 14 million primary voters. Listen to the lead up to this question. I even cut out some of it.
Let's begin with your decision. You're at your home.
You're at your home.
Rehoboth Beach, Delaware.
Rehoboth Beach, Delaware.
Late July with your family.
With your family.
And you make this historic decision.
He made this is how they're calling it. The decision, and I'm going to let it play after this. The decision to screw 14 million primary voters and take a hot steaming dump on democracy itself. It's when Joe Biden does it, it's a historic decision. If Trump were to do it, it would be an insurrectionist election interference decision. Now I'll shut my big mouth. Enjoy.
Let's begin with your decision. You're at your home, Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, late July with your family, and you make this historic decision. Tell me the story.
Look, the polls we had showed that it was the neck and neck race, would have been down to the wire. But what happened was a number of my Democratic colleagues in the House and Senate thought that I was going to hurt them in the races. And I was concerned if I stayed in the race, that would be the topic. You'd be interviewing me about why did Nancy Pelosi say, why did someone, and I thought it'd be a real distraction, number one.
Let's begin with your decision. You're at your home.
You're at your home.
Rehoboth Beach, Delaware.
Rehoboth Beach, Delaware.
Late July with your family.
With your family.
And you make this historic decision. Tell me the story.
Look.
Well, look is not how you start an answer to that question, which was not a question. Tell me the story. Tell me a story, Grandpapa. Can I touch the hair on your legs, Joe, while you tell me the story? Well, look, listen to what he says.
The polls we had showed that It was the neck and neck race. Would
The polls we had showed it was a neck and neck race. I'm saying what he's saying as if you can't hear it for some reason.
have been down to the wire. But what happened was a number of my Democratic colleagues in the House and Senate thought that I was
Going to lose. And they thought that the democratic process that led to you winning the primaries when they said you're good for another 4 years, sharp as a tack, cogent. They realized, holy shit, you're not going to win now because you got your ass handed to you in that debate. So much so that everyone now knows what we've been telling them for the last 3 years was a bald-faced lie. So we're plucking you out. What it was a coup. Who was behind the coup?
going to hurt them in the races.
Down ballot, by the way. Down ballot. They're like, oh shit, you're no longer helping us down ballot. Get the F out. But I was elected. We'll 25th your asshole, Joe. Who's behind it, though?
And I was concerned if I stayed in the race, that would be the topic. You'd be interviewing me about why did Nancy Pelosi say, why did so, and
Why did
I
look
thought
at that
it'd be a real
face.
distraction, number one.
It would be a distraction. Yeah, it would be a distraction. How they lied about your health. It was a coup orchestrated by Nancy Pelosi. And, by the way, what other coup did Nancy Pelosi start or have a hand in? Maybe a little bit of the January 6th insurrection lie coup. He just said everything out loud. We had the primaries. I won. They no longer thought I could win. And they basically said, get the hell out. Otherwise, it's going to be, every news cycle is going to be about how you're losing, how you're demented, how you're old. You're not down ticket. It's hurting. Get out. What are we going to do? Well, Obama came out and said we're going to have an open convention in August in Chicago when they all knew that Kamala really couldn't be the replacement. But then they all got in line like good statists, fascist tyrants do. They got in line and they said, now it's party over country and Kamala is the future. I know none of you like her. I know you all think she's a toxic, idiotic, DEI scumbag, lying hoe. If I'm quoting, what's his face, Steven Crowder. Did you all see Steven Crowder's apology? Classic. He's like, when I called her a lying whore, I should apologize for the whore part. That suggested that she had sexual intercourse for some form of political profit. And I had no reason to come to that conclusion, notwithstanding the connection to her sleeping around with Joe, what's his name? Willie Brown. And ascending in politics. I'd like to extend my whole heartfelt apologies to Kamala Harris. They all knew it, and it took them a little while to get everyone in line, but they did. They got behind Kamala and finalized the coup. Period. Oh, the her tapes. Hold on, that's funny. Little Lamsey, if I can bring it up here. Little Lamsey says the her tapes must be really, really bad. I mean, just imagine that the her tapes are as bad as the debate. Imagine that the her tapes are as bad as that video right there, which, if you notice, by the way, is still edited. I mean, it's supposed to be like an authentic one-on-one interview. First of all, that guy really channels a pervy Fred Savage, not even like a young, attractive Fred Savage. Also, just so you know, when I was a kid, in our school yearbook, they said I looked like Fred Savage. But I got to play another clip from this, which is absolutely wild, and you'll also notice something. Again, saying the quiet parts out loud. Here, this part right here. Listen to this. And I did some real forensic analysis, which I'll share in a second. But just listen to this clip where Joe Biden, as you have your unfiltered truth-telling device, it runs both ways. And it seems that Joe caught himself after he said probably what he meant.
Are you confident that there will be a peaceful transfer of power in January 2025?
If Trump wins,
Well, can you imagine how loaded that question is? Are you confident that there will be a peaceful transfer? I mean, why not just give him the answer? You are confident that there will be a peaceful transfer if Trump wins, right? I mean, just ask him that way, and then at least he won't screw it up the way he just screwed it up here. Listen to this.
Are you confident that there will be a peaceful transfer of power in January 2025?
if Trump wins, no, I'm not confident at all. I mean, if Trump loses, I'm not confident at all.
Are you confident that there?
Does everybody also appreciate that there is an edit in there? I don't know if it's just a cutting to a different camera and temporally still seamless. There's an edit in there. Right after he makes a mistake leading into the correction. Look.
Are you confident that there will be a peaceful transfer of power in January 2025?
If Trump wins, no, I'm not confident at all.
Yeah, okay, by the way, I appreciate it's a Freudian slip. That's what we would call a misspeak. But there's a reason why it's called a Freudian slip, people. It's not like getting someone's name wrong. This is like what's going on in his mind. If Trump wins, we are not giving up power, period. And Raskin said it last week. I went apeshit on that. I'll play that again for a second. But watch this. If Trump is elected, no, not at all. Meaning they're not giving up power if Trump gets elected.
Trump wins, no, I'm not confident at all.
Oh, should I say that aloud?
I mean, if Trump loses, I'm not confident at all.
Okay, now pay attention to the edit. It's right. Right here. And this is my question. It kind of looks like it's a seamless temporal. But if I'm looking right here, and I'm not trying to be tinfoil hat conspiracy theory, there's clearly an edit. The only question is, did they say cut? Joe, do you realize what you just said? Fix it, and then we play the fix it. Because if you look at his mouth, I'm not convinced that this is the next frame of reality that actually occurred. I think I see more teeth. It looks like the mouth is curved a little more down here than it is here, but it might just be because it's a little blurry here, and here it's a little bit more sharp image, as you can see by the wrinkles in the head and the shine on the forehead. The question is this only. Is this frame the next frame that occurred temporally in reality after he made the flub? Or did they actually say, cut? Dude, did you hear what you just said? Oh, yeah, let me fix it. Okay. No, I'm sorry. I meant if Trump doesn't get elected.
I mean, if Trump loses, I'm not confident at all.
Are you?
Maybe I'm making a mountain out of a molehill, but I don't think I am. And just to pad or to add some support to the fact that that's not just an innocuous, innocent Freudian slip. It would be a Freudian slip if there were no, I don't know, other context in which other politicians, said other things specifically in terms of how they're going to do that, people. And I put together this little montage, including the full clip from the interview at the end, so no one accuses me of cutting something short and taking something out of context, because I don't ever want people having the basis to say that. And anybody who does say that is a liar. Listen.
Are you confident that there will be a peaceful transfer of power in January 2025?
If Trump wins, no, I'm not confident at all.
So it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025 to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody in civil war conditions.
And then I play the clip at the end here, just so
Are you?
video. Can you who the hell does Jamie Raskin think he is? It's going to be up to us, Congress, to say, no, idiots. Oh, you thought you just elected Trump? No, dummies. He's disqualified. We couldn't disqualify him before to keep him off the ballot. Now we're just going to disqualify him after he was on the ballot and you voted for him. And Biden out there saying, yeah, if Trump is elected, there's not going to be a peaceful transfer of power because Jamie Raskin said there wouldn't be last week. Okay. We're going to go over to Rumble and Locals exclusively in a second, but before we do that, and speaking of keeping the blood pressure down and staying healthy, because to quote the villain out of The Princess Bride, if you don't have your health, you have nothing. No joke. You got to stay healthy and you got to remain healthy, because the health is the most important thing on earth that you really only truly appreciate. God forbid if you ever have a compromise to your health. So stay healthy. It means exercise, eating healthy, getting your raw fruits and veggies in every day. And if you can't, although you should, and even if you do, you should still have a healthy habit, field of greens. We all want to feel healthy and energetic, but most of us are running on fumes. And exercising and eating right just becomes another thing on our to-do list. But I'm telling you, it doesn't have to be that hard. It doesn't. Just do it. Get out there and exercise, eat healthy, and take your field of greens. It's whole organic fruits and vegetables, no extracts and no lab-made stuff. Just one scoop gives you real simple nutrition. Field of Greens feeds your body with fruit and vegetables medically chosen to support your health, vital organs, and immune system. Steady energy throughout the day, no afternoon crashes, better sleep. Even my stomach feels better. It's got all the good stuff to get healthy gut. And you swap out unhealthy habits for healthy habits is the most useful thing on earth. I have an expression like life is a question of addictions, and it's a question of substituting the unhealthy addictions for the healthy ones. We are creatures of habit. So make sure you get the good habits and sub out the bad ones. For the good ones, Field of Greens is my go-to for getting my nutrients I need, even on the bad eating days, which I don't have very many of. Go to fieldofgreens.com, and if you don't like it, you can return it for a full refund. 15% off your first order, so make it a big one. Free rush shipping. Fieldofgreens.com. It brings you to Brickhouse Nutrition. Promo code Viva. The link is in the description. That's code Viva. Fieldofgreens.com. Thank you to our sponsors. Show some love and help build that wonderful parallel economy that we absolutely need. Now, what I'm going to do before we go over to the other platforms, I'm going to give everybody the link to, well, everybody on Rumble, here's the link to Locals. Bada bing, bada boom. Everybody on YouTube, here's the link to Locals. Let me see if I missed any super chats or anything before we go. Hold on, bring it back up here. We got Cup of Sooth, who I know. He says, no balls, wall. Oh, I think we're getting into walls on the other side. We are. Freaking liars. The media lie to you, treat you like idiots. They tell you something's not true, and then when they can no longer deny it, yeah, it's true, but it's not a big deal. It's not happening, but it's not a bad thing that it's happening. And you're a bigot for noticing. All right, so that's it. We're going to vote with our feet, vote with our eyeballs, and vote with our dollar, and head on over to Rumble. If you are so inclined, the link is in the pinned comment on Rumble. And you can come to vivabarneslaw.locals.com. What did I miss? I was watching Robert Gouveia. What was live today? See, this is the thing. Like a fixed schedule might not work. It obviously will not work when there are hearings to be broadcast. But we're going for it, people. If you're watching on YouTube later today, 12:30 daily, Viva Frei. But come straight over to Rumble because that's where the party's at. King of Biltong's in the house just in time before we go over to the only Rumble market. Good afternoon from Anton's 10% off with Viva 10 for your biltong on biltongusa.com, antonusa.com for purchases that qualify for free shipping. Else, use code Viva for free shipping. And we got Jabbery, who says, yay, David, meat. I got mine in the fridge, actually. The ghost one is quite spicy. Okay, so now I'm going to end it on YouTube and Twitter and bring it on over to Rumble and Locals now. And the one thing that I'm going to do in YouTube is go over to the video and end the stream manually so that it doesn't have the endless green fuzzy screen telling people. So how do I go here? I go to live. I go to that little button right there and I click end live stream now. Boom! Rumble. How goes the battle? Rumble is where all the cool kids hang out, says Polish Dog 989. I love it. I know a lot of these. Honor 234 says ready to rumble. Slackjaw 33. Whoop, whoop. And then we got Sean Keen. Freedom of speech shall not be infringed. And King of Biltong says YouTube is asshole. All right. Well, speaking of asshole or no balls walls. I don't know. I wouldn't call it no balls. I don't know. Nobody knows how they would react under fire, and I mean literal fire, or like in a situation of emergency until they're in one. Would you be the person that runs into the burning building to save the child, or would you be the person that sits there, in horror, paralyzed with fear, and hopes someone else does it? We all want to believe that we'd be the person to run into the building, but you never know until you get there. I presume the no balls walls is a reference to Wall's stolen valor, and it's confirmed now. I'm old enough to remember last week when they told us JD Vance was an asshole, was a traitor virtually for attacking the military service of another veteran. And I said at the time, and he subsequently, I doubt JD listens to me or has seen the whatever I say, but I was like, he adopted the point that I made last week. Nobody was attacking his military service. 24 years in the National Guard. More power to you. You deserve praise for that. He wasn't attacking his military service. He was attacking Waltz for lying about his military service, specifically him having seen combat, him having carried weapons of war during wartime when he was lying about it to push an anti-Second Amendment position because he's a commie. Waltz is a commie. We should call him the Commie Waltz. But the media told you it was a lie, and then they have to tell you it's the truth. Here, yeah, here. Is this the one? No, not that one. Oh, son of a gun. Well, I don't have that up there either. What the? Viva, get your notes in order. This is like a 12:30 show is also going to be good because I'll be able to use the morning to get my notes in order. And then I'll be able to use the afternoon to catch up on the news for the next day. But where are the headlines that I pulled? Because here we go. This is it. This is it right here. And then we're going to get into the interview that J.D. Vance did with Dana Bash. And watching it makes you want to Dana Bash your head against the wall, because it's watching literal liars and stupid people try to outsmart truth tellers and honest people. And that doesn't work very well. Listen to this. 3 days ago, they told this. I'm reading my own tweet for anybody listening on podcasts, where this also goes. Viva and Barnes Law for the People on Podbean and all the other places where podcasts go. The audio shall be there later today. 3 days ago, they told you Republicans were lying in their attack on Tim Walz for alleged stolen valor. Today, they admit Walz lied, but they claim he misspoke. I want to say this: like, you don't misspeak about memories of your own life. You only lie about them. Misspoke is if you say I was in Iraq and you meant Afghanistan, not I was in Italy for National Guard and then I said I was fighting in Iraq or Afghanistan. That's not misspoke. That's lying, because your memory of your life ought to be accurate. And if you lie about the memory of your life, it's not misspeaking. He misspoke about his own memory of his own life. These MFers, as much as you hate them, you don't hate them enough. This is from Top Stories. Listen to this. When was this from? See, I got to also remember to keep the date in here. This is from last week. Debunking from MSNBC, by the way, the master sons of bitches commies. Oh, that's not bad. Master sons and bitches commies. That's MSNBC. Debunking the GOP lies about Tim Walz's military record. Senator J.D. Vance accused Governor Tim Walz of, quote, stolen valor. But the facts tell a different story. This is literally what they said. The facts tell a different story. I wanted to, for the pure juxtaposition, I did need one from MSNBC, but I couldn't find one fast enough. From CNN, this is another headline. With Swift boat architect at the helm, Trump campaign uses familiar playbook against Walz. The Trump campaign's attacks on Minnesota Tim Walz's military record are channeling the, quote, swift boating, end quote, campaign 20 years ago against John Kerry, which accused the 2004 Democratic presidential nominee of lying about his Vietnam service and decorations. That was MSNBC and CNN last week. This week, New York Times. That I don't rely on the New York Times, but when they show that MSNBC and CNN are liars, you know they're not doing it because they want to. Harris campaign says Walz misspoke in comment about his military service. The Democratic vice presidential nominee has come under attack from Republicans. How about just from anybody interested in the truth, who have suggested that he overstated his military record and avoided comment. They didn't suggest it. They demonstrably proved it, which is why your headline says that he misspoke, because he did not accurately reflect his own military experience when he himself was describing it. Misspoke is the word of the day. CNN. Walz misspoke in saying he served in war, Harris campaign says. It's as much as you hate them, you don't hate them enough. It's untrue. J.D. Vance is a traitor. You got these bullshit Twitter accounts coming after J.D., attacking him as a veteran, saying it's dishonorable to attack another veteran. Fast forward a week, it's all effing true. But there's even more. But wait, there's more. Let's get the interview with some of the clips from the Dana Bash interview. Was it this one? Oh, it was this one here. Listen to this. Listen to this. Dana Bash is probably going to be out of work next week, but check this out. While this plays, I'm just going to run and get something. Hold on.
Now asked me 3 questions about comments that I made 3 years ago. I wonder what Kamala Harris thinks about the fact that she supported policies that opened the American southern border. I wonder what Kamala Harris thinks about the fact that she lied to the American people about Joe Biden's middle facility for the office. You are interviewing me, Dana, because I respect the American people enough to sit down for an interview.
I appreciate that.
Kamala Harris has been the nominee for 3 weeks. She hasn't sat down for a real interview.
Believe me, we are asking. You're not going to get a disagreement there.
Methinks that Dana Bash might have just said a little too much. Oh, what's that, Dana? Did CNN just admit that they're trying to contact Kamala Harris and trying to get an interview with her, but she's refusing to do it? Why would get that Fred Savage looking dude to interview Kamala Harris? I mean, his questions are pretty easy enough. Yeah, I respect you. I respect the American people. J.D. Vance is awesome. He's awesome. because he is just a good person. And you know that this is the thing. Like my dad always told. Well, I'll bring this out of here. Hold on. My dad is still alive. Touch wood. So when I say my dad always said growing up, it's not because he's not alive. But my dad brought me up with some damn good morals. So like you when people are out to get you, you've got to be twice as good. And when people are out to get you and call you a liar, you've got to be twice as honest. J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, but J.D. Vance in particular, knows that the media is out to get him. So with him, he doesn't get to misspeak. He doesn't get to have a flub of a word. When Donald Trump says Nancy Pelosi instead of, who was he trying to talk about when he was talking? Instead of Kamala Harris, I think. You don't get to have the occasional flub. You don't get to have the occasional fuzzy memory. You imagine if Donald Trump had any sort of he had a heel spur, so he didn't serve. He's a coward for not serving. Again, I won't judge that. But bottom line, when they're out to get you, you don't even have the luxury of being inaccurate. You don't get the benefit of the doubt of misspeaking. And they're out to get J.D. Vance. And so he's got to be twice as honest and twice as perfect as his adversaries, because they'll double down on protecting their adversaries, the others, and they'll double down on attacking the JDs. But listen, I mean, she actually said something quite amazing.
Now asked me 3 questions about comments that I made 3 years ago. I wonder what Kamala Harris thinks about the fact that she supported policies that open the American southern border. I wonder what Kamala Harris thinks about the fact that
it's an amazing thing. Like some people would call that a whataboutism. Well, I'm talking to you, JD. Yeah, but JD, keep reminding CNN viewers that Kamala Harris is a Kamala coward. Ooh. Can we make that one? Can we make that one trend? I'm not jealous of other people, and there's full stop. I am in admiration of how Cat Turd seemingly gets things trending. Kamala coward or coward Kamala? I'm not good at it. Keep reminding CNN viewers and the world that Kamala Harris is a coward. She is too dumb to answer questions in real time. She's too ignorant to actually speak to matters of substance in real time. And keep reminding the world of that, JD.
She lied to the American people about Joe Biden's mental facility for the office. You are interviewing me, Dana, because I respect the American people enough to sit down for an interview.
I appreciate that.
Kamala Harris has been the nominee for 3 weeks. She hasn't sat down for a real interview.
Believe me, we are asking. You're not going to get a disagreement there.
And by the way, a lot of people are saying, why is her head so big? Don't make fun of people unless it's absolutely necessary. There's clearly an angle where Dana Bash is sitting closer to the camera than JD Vance. So either she's got a massive head and he's got a small head, or he's got a small head, she's got a big head, or it's just angled closer to the camera. I love JD Vance, period. Great guy. And one who does not embellish for the sake of stealing valor. As we now know, Balls Walls did. No Balls Walls, not... yeah, okay. There's going to be more there in a second, but let me bring this one up here. Viva, it would be great to see a weekly summary from Barris periodically on this site. I subscribe to his locals account. Trump never led on the national polls in 2016 or 2020. He is leading now. Trump led in a very few swing states, but closed quickly in November. Now he is leading in most, even with the biased Democrat polls. Robert Barnes has observed that Kamala has to be up 8 points nationally to have a chance in swing states. And then there's a graph, which I can't see because my eyes are not good. I'll see. I'll text Barris and see what we can do about that, because that's not a bad idea. No. First of all, I don't believe polls ever, but I certainly don't believe the quite clear, shameless astroturfing that we are seeing right now to fabricate this impression that Kamala Harris ever was surging in the polls. The betting markets are what they are, and they're no more accurate than they were when they had Josh Shapiro at 70%. The day that he was not being tapped for VP. You should not ignore them. You should not write them off as it's all hunky dory. Do the Bongino thing. I can't vote, people, and I hope that I reach more than 10 people a day. But I will certainly I'm not going to be the evangelical Trump Canadian guy in our community and like tell neighbors to go vote Trump. But get 10 people to go vote come election day. And don't take anything for granted, because you can't. But I don't believe those polls, period. I believe it's clear astroturfing to manufacture a memory in people's minds so that when they attempt to steal the election, they can say, oh, remember her honeymoon? Remember how she spiked in the polls? And when when Jamie Ratskin comes in and says, no, sorry, you guys, your dude's disqualified, but don't worry, Kamala was very popular. Here are the polls. Bada bing, thank you very much. Travel Buds 710 donated $100. Thank you. I hope that's a membership, but either way, thank you very much, Travel Bud. Travel Buds 710. Now I have to unpin that. How do I unpin it here? Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, good. Now I want to bring something else up here that we have. So it's 1:30. If we go 12:30 to 1:30, I got to pick up a kid later. So I got some time. This is going to work out perfectly. 12:30 to 1:30, 2 o'clock, and then we have our locals after party. And then I go back and obsessively focus on the news. Now, by the way, this is not a bad habit. This is not a sponsor yet. Although if anybody knows this company, YK coffee. It's iced coffee. I forgot I left it in the freezer. Now I have to melt it a little bit. It's delicious, healthy iced coffee, 70 calories per container, as opposed to that disgusting Starbucks, which is like 220 calories a can. I don't understand how they get so much sugar in it. It doesn't. Things don't need to be that sweet. Okay, I've complained about that too much now. By the way, they're doing two things. They are astroturfing to manufacture some form of consent or like popularity of a disgusting, cackling, detested and detestable liar of a political prostitute, literally. And as if, oh no, she was not hated in 2020. She wasn't the least popular of the Democrat candidates in 2020. She didn't get her ass handed to her by Tulsi Gabbard. No. Not just that. She was always popular, and in fact, she kind of looks like Tulsi Gabbard. If you haven't seen this, it will make you vomit a little bit in your mouth. Time magazine puts this out. I don't want to see this. Ugh, whatever. I can't get it. The reintroduction of Kamala Harris. Reintroduction? I mean, I take for granted everybody has read or listened to George Orwell's 1984. This is newspeak. This is like we are just manufacturing words. The reintroduction. You're not reintroducing Kamala Harris, Time magazine, you dumbass mockingbird propagandists. You're redefining her because she's no longer the unpopular, detested, and detestable candidate that she was 6 months ago. She's no longer the least popular VP in history. She's no longer the failed 2020 candidate. She's no longer a bumbling coconut, what do you think, unburdened buffoon. We're reintroducing her, rebranding her, redefining her. We are rewriting history. Look at that. Oh, and by the way, she really looks like Kamala, not to Kamala. They're really making her look like Tulsi Gabbard in this picture. Look at this. Her Moment by Charlotte Alter. I got to see it. Hold on. Charlotte Alter Time. Let's see here. Charlotte Alter is a senior correspondent at Time. She covers politics. I'm not doing it. Movements, generational change, and hosts Time's Person of the Week podcast. She is also the author of The Ones We've Been Waiting For. How a New Generation of Leaders Will Transform America. Her work at Time has won front page award from the Newswoman's Club of New York. I'm sorry. And GLAAD. What is this? Nominated for GLAAD. Well, that's her. They are manufacturing reality, people. Oh, hold on. That's what I want to show you here. Let me back this up here. Okay, no, not to her. We want to go back to the Tulsi Gabbard look-alike. Hold on. Tulsi Gabbard images. Are you telling me that it's an accident that they are not making her look like Tulsi Gabbard on that cover? It is obviously uncanny. Back it up. Back it. And we lost it here. It's uncanny. I mean, I'm trying to figure out why they would do it. Maybe to like confuse some moderates, make her look like Tulsi Gabbard, so people who don't realize she's actually a commie and not a patriot will vote for her. Reintroduction. Orwellian newspeak for what they're actually doing, which is redefining and changing history. Oh, well, okay. I'll bring Cliff Norman. I'm going to come to that in a second. There's a chat there that I'll come to in a second. And they're not just making her look like other popular candidates who are in the middle ground. Redefining history, rewriting history, and someone's coming into the office. My wife. You want to say hi to the world? My wife, she has come into the home studio to get her mother's iPad. Come say, look, come say hi, come say hi. This is what working at home, people. Man, hold on a second here. Let me close
can't
this.
see everybody.
There we go. There we go.
I came for the iPad.
She came for the iPad.
Hi. What are we doing?
Nothing. That's so, oh yeah, maybe that dog is making some noise. Holy cow! You hear the whining of Pudge? It's because we haven't fed her since this morning, so she needs more food. They're not just rewriting history, astroturfing, manufacturing consent, what do they say? Reintroducing. Now they've actually gone into outright stealing policy, and it's the most amazing thing on earth. Like you go to these accounts. And I'm not just out picking on random accounts. These are mildly big accounts. How many? Yeah, 104,000 followers. Zion Darkwood. Zion Don't Miss. Trump is project2025.com. Okay, fine. That's fine. Then we got there. Here, look at this. I mean, it's a joke. You get Kamala Harris on stage last week or whenever saying no tax on tips for hospitality workers. And now you got vote Harris for no taxes on tips. Kamala Harris. Leave a note on your meal receipts from now on to let servers know to vote for Harris for no taxes on tips. Harris Waltz 2024. They make him look like politicians you like. They rewrite history. They astroturf to make you think other people think they're popular. Then they outright steal your freaking policy and pretend it was their own all along, and then shit on you for having policy that they will probably steal in the future. And I said, what did I say here? It's shameless scoundrels. Trump's policies are so bad, they literally steal them and pretend they were their own. Losers. This is an image of a tip. This is not the Marjorie Taylor Greene one. I hope that guy bleeped out his. Hold on. This one actually looks like there's a lot of information that might have wanted to bleep out of it. A gratuity, $100 gratuity on a $25 meal. Well, that's just downright generous. And here you got, this was Marjorie Taylor Greene's. And then everyone's like, oh my God, she's going up for a $600 lunch. I was like, first of all, dude, if you have a family of 5, that's not even far off. We went to McDonald's, and I hate going to McDonald's, but it came to like $160 for 5 people. And I didn't eat because I don't eat that crap, even though the kids want to eat this. No tax on tips. Vote Trump. They make it their own. There was another point that I was going to go with that. Yeah, that's right. Kamala Harris. Tough on border now. She's going to crack down on the border policy. Going to be tough on crime, Kamala. No tax on tips, Kamala, even though Biden's IRS vowed to go after. Shameless, lying scoundrels. They will demonize you for saying the things you say. Then they'll steal the things that you said when they realize that they actually resonate. Pretend that they were their own ideas and continue to insult you for having ideas that are so damn good they actually steal them afterwards. They want to look like you, they want to think like you, and they want to beat you down while they do it. Shay boss. Yeah, speaking of no balls walls, Cliff Norman in our locals community says, Viva, I am astonished that people support the mutilation of children given the brain does not fully develop until age 20 to 25, with judgment being the last function to develop. Oklahoma has passed a law that you cannot do gender affirming care. That's another Orwellian newspeak. Child genital mutilation. You can't do child genital mutilation before age 25. I'm not sure I agree with 25 because I think if you're old enough to vote, you're old enough to smoke, you're old enough to drink, you're old enough to make your own mistakes at that point in time. There has to be a time in which you're old enough to make your own mistakes. It's just not when you're 14. That's what you have parents for. Healthcare professionals should lose their license and be sued by the parents. They are creating patients for life. Follow the money, pure greed. And then we got a graph here, which we can't see and I can't even bring up. That is the brain development. There's no question. I was an idiot. I mean, I'm still an idiot, but I was an idiot. And I mean, like in the clinical sense, like idiot, not having an intellectual level of a 2-year-old. Until I was like easily 25. I have never really gone full throttle into my childhood. I was a bit of a problem child. 3 high schools in 5 years, it was a defiance disorders and whatnot. And I only really settled down when I got into university and hit the straight and narrow. But What's Happening says, I want to thank you, Viva and Robert, for the amazing work you've been doing. Very clear explanations at SP. Sierra Papa Law Care here, and sorry about my mistake earlier. What was the mistake earlier? I'm gonna have to go think about it. I think I remember now. I don't remember now. I'll have to come back. I'll have to go back. You can remind me in the chat what the mistake was. And by the way, just so everybody knows, like I think we have successfully destigmatized using the term retarded when you're using it as a deliberate judgment on someone who clearly is an idiot. I'm gonna sue. I did not tweet this to protect myself or because I was having fights with anybody. I'm just giving the arguments to people who should know what the arguments are, because not everybody knows this, and it's a scientific fact. The term retard or retarded got a very bad rap because people said it's an insulting way of referring to someone who's mentally challenged or mentally deficient. And first of all, I can appreciate that. And I thought this before I even saw that Joe Rogan said it. If you look at someone who's mentally, developmentally challenged and you call them the R word, of course that's an insult. I mean, someone calls me a midget, which happens very often. It's not insulting midgets or it's not insulting a midget small person because I'm not actually a midget. What it's supposed to be doing is insulting me by saying I'm a normal person, but I'm actually quite a small normal person. And somebody thinks it's an insult to say, oh yeah, you're a frizzy-haired midget. It's like, okay, you stop caring about the size of your penis after you've had 3 kids, okay, or after you've had 1 kid. But if you call someone who's developmentally challenged the R word, of course did I just close everything down? No, I didn't. Of course, it's going to be insulting. But if you call someone who's not developmentally challenged, but just democratically challenged, the R word, like Kamala Harris is retarded. And people who say certain things, you're not in it. It doesn't have the same. It doesn't have the same raison d'être. But some people don't know. It's so rude. You can't use the word retarded because that's wrong. That's an insulting word. But they'll go ahead and use words like idiot, imbecile, and moron, not knowing this is straight out. This is the history of the words, and it's not a very old history. Idiot. This is from the Merriam-Webster History of the Terms. Those so defective that mental development never exceeds that. Or never exceeds that, or I guess I meant of a normal child, of about 2 years. Imbecile, you imbecile. How dare it's funny when you say it with a British accent? It's almost funny. You bloody imbecile. Those whose development is higher than that of an idiot, but intelligence does not exceed that of a normal child of about 7. And a moron, which we always throw around because a lot of people are morons. Those whose mental development is above that of an imbecile, but does not exceed that of a normal child of about 12 years old. And I like to say, anybody who feigns outrage, you can't say retarded. That's insulting. It's like, do you say imbecile? Do you say moron? Do you say idiot? Obviously you do, because when you want to take someone who should know better and say you're an idiot for not knowing better, that's the word that you use, and it's got the exact same historical pejorative connotation as retarded. Except I still think historically I also believe the term retarded was intended to be the catch-all, non-offensive version instead of using idiot, moron, or imbecile. And linguistically, it is actually an accurate term in as much as you have flame retardant material, something that slows the progression down. People who are politically retarded slow down political progress. Yes, I've gone a little too long in this, but yeah. So let me see here. There's more stuff that we're going to get to. Asking for prayers. Oh my goodness. Okay, Encryptus. I was talking with Encryptus earlier today. Asking for prayers for Athens, Greece, and the people in danger. The city is burning in a historic fire. For those interested, we were able to evacuate from Rafina to Filote. Looks like Italy may be coming. Looks like Italy be coming this way too. Crazy days. Encryptus is a member of our Viva BarnesLaw.locals.com community. Let me bring up what is going on in Italy, because I didn't know about this. Athens, not Italy. Athens fire. Here, it's actually like kind of crazy. Out of control. Evacuations ordered. I have to go. Okay, we'll go here. Right, click. Evacuations ordered. A fast-spreading wildfire tore through several neighborhoods close to Greece capital of Athens Monday, prompting authorities to urge residents to evacuate their homes. Some 685 firefighters, 32 bomber trucks. Emergency crews have been tackling an extremely dangerous fire for more than 20 hours under dramatic conditions, exacerbated by strong winds, prolonged drought, and impenetrable terrain in dense, unburnt forests. You're going to have the same argument, climate change, arson, or poor forest management. But bottom line, Encryptus, stay safe. And we're going to get to the most important question of the day. Can we just call her a fucktard then? That might be more accurate given certain proclivities, but bada bing, bada boom. Okay. So let me see what we got in the backdrop. We still got some more. Does everybody hear the dog? Like, Do you hear that? It's very. I have to put up with this. And the more you feed her, she's like the blob. She's like Seymour, not Seymour, the plant in the Little House of Little Shop of Horrors. The more you feed her, the more she eats. Viva say unstarted. They haven't started using their brain yet. Fires everywhere. Is the thumbs up? Yeah, we hear the dog. Hold on 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Although if you hear a shotgun, if you hear a loud bang and then no more dog whining, don't worry. I'm joking, by the way. Just so everybody knows, also Pudge was my sister-in-law's dog. She got paralyzed in 2016, and my sister-in-law, we were able to take care of her, and so we took her in 2016. And the dog's got to be 14 years old now. She doesn't look like she's on the verge of dying. She only looks like she's getting healthier and younger with each passing day. But she's gotten some bad habits, one of which is whining as of 5 a.m. to get food. And her pleasure in life is eating. So I feel bad, but she's real annoying. Okay. We started off this show with that British police officer flexing their muscles. I'm being a bastard.
What I would say to those people who think they've got away with being involved in the disorder on Tuesday or on Saturday, you absolutely haven't got away with it. We are coming for you. We've got hours of social media footage. We've got hours.
What happens to it? There's something funnier happened towards the end here.
An injured having an impact. Yes, it is. But we absolutely have sufficient resources to cope.
Okay, so we started off the show with this British officer threatening to go full Jan 6 on anybody who hurled a missile in the Saturday of violence, from which people have already been convicted and sentenced to 2+ years in jail. They're really going to go after everybody. I don't know if you heard the news, people. They're going to go after. Apparently, the talk is that they might go after Elon Musk. Right? Yes, from The Guardian. Elon Musk should face arrest if he incited UK rioters, says ex-Twitter chief. I've just got a basic common sense question for you jackasses. I won't swear. You jackasses, to check what the IQ level of a jackass is. How could he have incited the UK rioters if his tweets came after the fact? I mean, just like he tweeted support, for free speech in the UK, because there isn't free speech. Because apparently, if you put anything on the internet, even if true, and it promotes hatred and whatever, they're going to come after you. You're going to get that copper there knocking down your door and say, "I know, you get a license to put that post up, that meme up on Facebook." All of his support for the UK came after the protests and only in the face of persecution by the tyrannical fascist North Korean government under, what's that guy's name? Keir Starmer? Smarmy Starmer? Is that going to work? Hashtag Smarmy Starmer? Okay, I'm not good at this. So that's just the one factual question that doesn't add up here. But as a matter of just, pure tyranny, Bruce Daisley, I don't know who this guy is, says ex-Twitter chief, calls for beefed up online safety laws and compares tech billionaires to unaccountable oligarchs. I compare that British police chick to unaccountable oligarchs. To Gestapo is who I compare them to, because they literally are acting like literal Gestapo, knocking on your door in the middle of the night and arresting people for things they said, for wrong things. Elon Musk should face personal sanctions and even the threat of an arrest warrant if found to be stirring up political disorder. And so, can I swear, guys? I really feel like this is a moment where we need a hot, steaming, go fuck yourself. But I'm not sure that I should do it because I know there's people with sensitive ears listening. Although kids are at school, so I said it. I said what I said. It cannot be right that the billionaire owner of X and other tech executives be allowed to sow discord without personal risks. Bruce Daisley, former Twitter's vice president and current communist, writes in The Guardian. He can go suck a commie boot, is what he can go do. He can go lick a commie boot. He said the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, should beef up online safety. The country that founded the Magna Carta, freedom of speech, the Bill of Rights, are now going to try, they are actually arresting people for words online. Holy cow, that dog is annoying. The UK government has called on social media platforms to act responsibly. What the hell does that mean? They've got policy terms of use and all the other stuff. Anybody inciting criminality, Anybody issuing threats, harassment, death threats, there's already rules for that, people. They're not going after anybody for breaking existing rules. They just want to shut Twitter down. What do we? Oh, they're beefing this up to be another January 6th because in 3 months we got another November 2024 election here. They got to find a way to tamp down on that free speech on the platform. But forget it. That's all we're going to get out of this article. And by the way, Trump is back on Twitter. There was a market for that on Poly Markets. Just feed her again. Oh, that dog. You think you have it all planned out. That dog is ruining it. Now I just lost my... Oh, no. Trump is back on Twitter. And just in time. Although I'm gonna play this, and I'm gonna echo the sentiment that a lot of other people echoed with respect to this video.
Trump has left the building. We can now project the winner of the presidential race. Donald Trump wins the presidency. What started off as unlikely, impossible, is now reality.
I will fight for you with every breath in my body, and I will never, ever let you down.
We have a president who actually fulfilled the promises he made during the campaign.
Does everybody remember that news cycle from the time that Trump was actually keeping too many of his campaign promises? I remember because I was there.
Border to foreign policy.
He now has a record as president that's pretty damn impressive. Breaking news out of Palm Beach,
The FBI has executed an unprecedented search warrant at President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. The former president has both sides of the political aisle up in arms.
Dangerous and unstable moment in American history.
The Justice Department has just indicted former President Donald Trump.
For 7 years, they hated him, they targeted him, they hunted him.
This is the epitome of the abuse of the prosecutorial power to preempt political decisions.
I never thought any...
By the way, apparently the breaking news of the day also is that Trump is suing the Department of Justice for $100 million for the illegal and arguably the first assassination attempt on Trump, the Mar-a-Lago raid by the FBI, who falsified evidence there as well. Same FBI who's going to look into the Trump assassination attempt in Butler, and from which I understand, I mean, I want to play the whole thing because I don't think they play the
anything like this.
I don't think they reference the assassination, which makes no sense.
Could happen in America. The only crime that I have committed is to fearlessly defend our nation from those who seek to destroy it. The more that a broken system tells you that you're wrong, the more certain you should be that you must keep pushing.
Hold on.
Tells you that you're wrong, the more certain you should be that you must keep pushing ahead. They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. They're not coming after me, they're coming after you, and I just happen to be standing in their way, and I will never be moving. On November 5th, 2024, justice will be done. We will take back our country, and we will make America great again. America will always rise to every challenge and overcome every danger.
Donald Trump seems to always get stronger when challenged. These types of things, I think, give him strength.
When I'm real,
this is very good, but if it's missing something, I'm going to have to think of why they would not have included it in this.
I will totally obliterate the deep state. As long as we have pride in our beliefs, courage in our convictions, and faith in our God, then we will not fail.
All right, I'm going to say it. How in the name of all things holy did they not include the assassination attempt and him holding his fist, punching it to the sky, saying fight, 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 with the crowd behind him chanting USA, USA, USA? How the hell did they not include that in there? Now, I'm just trying to think of a reason. And I mean, if I'm thinking not cynically, but pragmatically, it could have been produced before the attempt. That would still be inexcusable to not, and I'm not trying to rag on you whatsoever, Leo. It would be inexcusable for them not to edit or do a re-edit and include it. My only thinking is that if they included the video, it might have been limited on certain platforms. And it might have been violative of the rules, and they want to run that on YouTube, is what I'm thinking. That could be the only rational or at least reasonable justification. He will not monetize it. It's you know what? Okay, it's interesting, Calamity Sue. He will not monetize that. He doesn't want to talk about it. I think he had a very private come to Jesus moment. But this is the thing. It's not even, that is not only about him. And I think a lot of people, if they didn't have a come to Jesus moment, at least had a come to, I mean, I don't anyone misinterpret this. It's not just about him. A lot of people had a come to God moment when they saw that. And it's impossible that they couldn't include it unless there's policy reasons for where they want to run that ad. I'm going to do a poll afterwards. I'm actually curious, but I believe there's a lot of people who believe that they saw an act of God when they witnessed that, who didn't otherwise, have those beliefs before. And I include myself in that, which is why I think if I have that belief, and I'm a pretty staunch, what's the word? I'm looking for agnostic. If I had that thought and that revelation, I know of a lot of other people with much more religious propensities in the first place who must have had that. And anyways, okay, doesn't matter. That's a damn good ad. Trump is back on Twitter now, and he's going to be doing that Twitter space with Elon Musk tonight. And then I believe after that, Pavlovsky is doing a live stream with Matt Kors talking about Rumble. So there's going to be some financial stuff coming out there. That's a damn good video. But now, by the way, so on the topic, it was a miracle. Let me just, it was, but not just a miracle in the sense of like, is it coming up here? How do I get this here? It was a miracle. Put it up, pin it. I sincerely believe it's as much of a witnessing of an act of God as we're ever going to get to see in modern times. And the media just ignores it. It's so despairing a little bit. We're 4 weeks out of what was an act of God put on display for the entire world to see. And then these evil bastards at Facebook, Google, censor it, censor the story, suppress the image, and actually interfere with what I believe was a cosmic reorientation of the world as we knew it. I think we're still in it. But it actually makes me very angry. We are goldfish, says Viva. Well, I look, at the very least, may I be at least the clown knife fish? I mean, that fish is damn stunning to look at. Okay, anyway, so that's it. So, but on the topic of the assassination attempt, and then we're going to end with this. Just more of what we knew. But if this doesn't convince you that it was an overt, deliberate, clear, transparent, let it happen on purpose. I don't know when this is from, but it's clearly from yesterday or very recently, Jesse Waters on Fox News.
Been a month since Trump was nearly killed, and the FBI has barely said a word about what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Of course not, because they can't revive that miracle that we all saw, because it will make people believe that there is something divine about Trump's ascension to the presidency in 2016. I was listening to Ben Carson on Joe Rogan, and he was like, he told Trump back in 2016, and Ben Carson's a religious guy, that he thought he was chosen by God. Like, if I ever get to have Ben Carson on, I want to ask him, like, what did you think that moment when you literally saw the breath of God tilt that head, sway that bullet, blow it in the wind, just the amount necessary to avoid global cataclysmic disaster? Corey Comparator died, and there's no minimizing that. We would have been in World War III, and there's evil, and there's consequences of evil, and then there's the aversion of global catastrophe. And some people become martyrs in the aversion of that catastrophe, unwilling martyrs or unwitting martyrs. So the FBI is not talking about it anymore. Neither is the media. They don't give a sweet bugger all. They got more important stuff to do. They got to astroturf Kamala Harris, the detestable and detested politician.
Thankfully, Congress is churning out new information to help the American people understand what happened. Records obtained by Senator Chuck Grassley show Thomas Crook's intense preparation in the months leading up to his assassination attempt. Turns out that Crooks first joined the Clairton Gun Club in August of last year, just a year ago, and then visited the range 43 times Crooks even spent holiday.
That's a lot. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's not a lot. I don't know. Wait until you find out who was training at that shooting range.
Days at the shooting range, including Christmas, Valentine's Day, Halloween.
Loners are going to train when they want to.
Parents didn't think this was strange.
Well, I think they did. I think they knew that he had mental issues, but I think other people also discovered that he had mental issues.
In 2024, he went to the range for target practice 3 to 6 times a month, almost exclusively training with rifles, not handguns, and made one final visit the day before shooting Trump.
This is not the
shooting range was crawling with feds. Multiple local and federal law enforcement agencies trained at this facility, including the Department of Homeland Security.
DHS.
Which oversees Secret Service. Crooks was training under federal law enforcement's nose.
I'll play it a little bit more, but I'll get to the point in a second here.
We're now seeing just how close they got to each other. Just 2 months before trying to kill Trump, Crooks was at the range within 24 hours of a Homeland Security Office training session. Meanwhile, new body cam footage from the rally shows Crooks on.
Excuse me, let me unpause it for a second. And not unpause it, unmute it, and let me pause it. I was a bit of a loner. I used to go to movies alone because I liked it, and most people wouldn't notice or wouldn't have observed anything. But one time I was there, and a psychologist noticed, and we started talking. It was a psychiatrist or psychologist, one of the head doctors, and the movie was Trainspotting. I've shared this anecdote. All this to say, someone who knows what they're looking for can find a loner kid who might be peculiar, particular, unique, and if this kid who, I don't know what he looked like when he was training, but his hair was long, so clearly his hair is growing out. He's a loner. He's there regularly. He's there on days where social people would be out with other humans, not training. I'm being a little bit like caricaturistic and judgmental. I go fishing on Valentine's Day and I go fishing on Father's Day too. Bottom line, hypothetically, this kid, if we're following the narrative that he might have been groomed by bad agents. Oh, what are you doing with that gun there? Oh, let's get you political. Well, if there's going to be anybody who's going to be able to identify the profile of someone who's peculiar, a loner, looks a little special, training with a firearm, and you've got this place crawling with DHS or regularly has DHS and other intelligence assets training there. My goodness, is it going to come out? And this is only my theorizing if we're writing a Jean Le Carré novel or a Charles Grisham, whatever the guy's name is. There's room in there. Remember when the FBI said he wasn't in our holdings? Didn't answer the question as to whether or not we knew we had ever come across this guy. It's becoming more and more plausible now that not only that if there's going to be a how they groomed and got to know this kid and planted the idea and let it happen, knew that it was going to happen because they saw a loner training at a shooting range in Butler. So what better place to leave security lax than Butler? If it's not becoming clear that it was an obvious let it happen on purpose, notwithstanding all of the additional stuff, nothing will make that clear to you. Back into this. I don't want this one. I want to get back to the video of Jesse Waters because when you see the body cam footage of the cops with audio, no, that's not what I want there either. Let me get to the other window. We'll get there. Give me a second. It's my first time doing this. It's my first day. Here, listen to this. Wait until you hear the body cam footage of the cops there.
On the AGR building rooftop just minutes before he opened fire.
Mm-hmm.
It appears Crooks was picked up on the body cam, but the officer didn't see him that far off in the distance. Footage also revealed the moment an officer was lifted onto the roof. And
obviously, you can't see as well with the naked eye as you can with tech devices, which makes the explanation that I forget his name now. I think it was the director of Secret Services that he gave during the congressional hearings. Oh, we turned down drone surveillance. We were just going with our eyes. My goodness, how dumb do they think we are?
Spotted Crooks 30 seconds before he pulled the trigger.
There was no audio there.
And the aftermath.
30 seconds, by the way. 30 seconds before the shots. They weren't on the same channels. They didn't have walkie-talkies. Oh, shit. Is that going forward? Secret Service is going to have walkie-talkie on the same channel as local law enforcement, just in case something happens.
When he tried to warn other officials. Listen.
He's laying down. He's on our next building over. Right after the gap.
I mean, my question would be, why are they not armed engaging him right now? Like, it's all fine that they run away, and I'm not judging anyone's courage. Why are they not engaging? Like, the cop who raised it up didn't have a gun. Fine. Why would they not be engaging immediately afterwards with a cop who did have a gun? Presumably one of them had a gun. You're just running and hiding and will notify the president?
He's got glasses, long hair. I need a ladder. Climb the wall. And I put my head right in front of him, bro. He's got a book bag. He's got a mag, AR.
And we also heard the immediate aftermath of the shooting, with locals questioning why the Secret Service allowed so many security failures.
This is the most telling part. Why the hell? We told them to be on that roof. We told them that roof needed cover.
This was a
Sorry, not sure which gas company.
Somebody
them have them respond.
There was nobody on the roof. The stage is right there.
Why were we not on the roof? Why weren't we? I told them they need to post the guy over here.
Oh, what's that? Advanced warning that you needed someone where you deliberately did not have them? Oh, no, nobody told. Oh, I'm sorry. No, they did. They did. There's this guy's telling you that they told you in advance.
I told him that the Secret Service. I told him that Tuesday. I told him to post.
These are the good guys just doing their job. Secret Service are clearly the bad guys deliberately not doing their job. The only question is, did they groom crooks when they ran into him at the shooting range over the last year?
Guys over here. I talked to the Secret Service guys. They're like, yeah, no problem. We're going to post guys over here.
Not only did the Secret Service ignore warnings and recommendations from the locals, it's now been a month since the shooting. And Senator Grassley says the Secret Service still hasn't met with the county SWAT team.
And that tweet came from Mr. Truth Ultra. I don't know who he is. I don't think I know who he is. I may have interacted with him, but just that video from Jesse is there. So I'm going to give everybody the link so you can go check that out. Link. Boom. Here you go. All right. I think that does it. We're going to save the rest for the after party on locals. Let me give everybody the link there, and let me just read a couple more of the chats that I think I see building up in the backdrop. Hold on. Come on over to locals. Locals is here, and we'll have our after party Q&A hangout, whatever the heck we want to call it. Viva Frei, how about Trump singing Green Acres? Hold on. What is Trump singing Green Acres? Let's see what this is. Let me bring this up just so everybody can see it. And if I missed any, Viva, how about Trump singing Green Acres? I'll check that out in 1 second. And then we got Mark Grendel, who says, watched his documentary after your interview, Just Wild. And I've seen his earlier work, and I presume that is about Tommy Robinson. The documentary is called Silence. It's I don't know who said it. Don't believe in God because he has revealed himself. I believe in God because evil has revealed itself. And we are dealing with we're dealing with evil. I mean, just and it cloaks itself as incompetence. But I believe we're going to find out at some point in time, someone was connected. Someone came into contact with crooks. That is my firm belief, my belief. For the time being, that doesn't need to be true in order for all of this to be a Lee Hop or a Me Hop, which it clearly is. And that is it. All right. Bada bing. Let me see up here. So everybody who's in vivabarneslaw.locals.com, come on over here. Piran in well, you know what? I can do this here. I think I see a Don Jr. ad, but let me we'll get some chat before we go over. Okay, there's the two shooters or multiple shooter theory, Piran. I don't believe in it, but I don't judge people who do. Shots 1-3, the real assassin fires. Shots 4 for 8, Crooks, the patsy fires. I believe if there was an actual assassin that wasn't Crooks, they wouldn't have missed, but you also don't need to add a second shooter to make this any more scandalous. But I can appreciate that people just, believe it. Was watching Bongino, and the whole thing disappeared. It's probably still up there. Bongino's still up there. That's from, who said that? Nunia 2020. Then we got the Honor 234 says they ran like scared lemons. I mean, the one who got propped up, maybe he didn't have his gun, but then after that, you got the president of the United States of America. Engage. At least fire some shots, and maybe, not to sound crazy, maybe this is not the right thing to do. Fire some shots and start a panic. And at least that way the screams from the crowd would reach the stage and they would shield Trump before he gets shot. Maybe that is a juvenile perspective, and I can appreciate that. But I don't think it is, actually. All right. Let's just, how do I get here? Where was I? The Rumble is here. Okay, now I can scroll down to the bottom. Great show again, Viva. Thank you very much, Honor. We got BlackRock. Yeah. I've seen some of those connections. They know God exists, for the devil told them so. David Bowie. Satan believes in God. Think about that. Well, as far as I understand, Satan, as far as it goes biblically, Satan was trying to outdo God, Calamity Sue. So he necessarily, I say he, Satan. Satan might be a woman. I'm joking. Okay. No. That's it. Hashtag Viva gets canceled. Okay. We're ending it. We're going to end it on Rumble. So tune in tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Rumble Viva Frei, 12:30 Eastern. And we'll see how long Viva can keep to a schedule. I haven't heard the dog make noise, so I'm going to go out there and see what's going on. My question was, what was the Secret Service always under Homeland Security? And if so, why? Says Jim Meredith, 1969. Okay, so that's it. So now we're really doing it. I'm going to stop dragging my feet out of here. Locals, come on over. We're going to have a few more things to talk about over at Locals. And if you're not coming, podcast will be out on Viva Barnes Law for the People. Podbean. The entire stream will be on Viva Clips. I'll do a vlog, my talkie vlogs, continue to do those. Viva Frei for merch, vivabarneslaw.locals.com for the best above average community out there, which is where we're going to be heading right now. And it'll be supporters only, just the way Rumble Studio is set up. So go, and if you're not coming, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out, everybody. Thanks for being here. This stream will be for local supporters in 2, 1. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh, what do I have in the backdrop, peeps? Let me see here. If I go into Locals, did I miss anything in the tips? I don't think I missed any tips. Oh, well, now we can look at the... Alrighty. We're going to watch this now that I guess... Watch this. I'm going to get claimed by YouTube when I play this later. This is abuse. Donald Trump and Megyn Kelly sing Green Acres.
Here to sing the theme from Green Acres, please welcome Donald Trump and Will and Grace's Karen Walker.
It's true. I know this song. Green Acres is the place for me. Farm living is the life for me. Is this really him?
Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me.
So that's really Donald Trump. I think I am inhabiting two parallel universes at the same time. Okay, that's wild. How can you not like Donald Trump? My problem is it's brainwashing. It's MK Ultra level brainwashing. People think they hate him. They think they have the catchphrases for why they hate him, and they don't know that they don't actually hate him. They've just been brainwashed. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Okay, so we got that, and then what else was there? We got asking for prayers for Athens, Greece. That's encryptus. We got that. Thank you, Viva. Okay, so I got everything here in Rumble, and now I'm just going to go to the open conversation. Everyone loved Trump until they didn't, says Ali Michael. Everyone loved Trump until they were brainwashed into thinking they always hated Trump. I always hated him. Viva Frei looks like he has a mop on his head. Viva Frei looks like he has a mop on his head. Oh, in the video. Or maybe you're just talking about me. Yeah, it might look like a mop. Got to go brush it again. It's so dry. I'm thinking I'm going to trim like an inch. Look how blonde or gray. All right, so there was one a white pill. You know, there's stupidity has consequences. Do you remember the commissioner there, the fire commissioner who vowed to go after the Trump supporters? This is from the New York Post. This is March 9, 2024. FDNY boss hunts down staffers who booed New York Attorney General Letitia James, cheered for Trump at promotion ceremony. We don't get this. You all remember this. Laura Kavanaugh. She's hunting down smoke eaters. What the heck is a smoke eater? And I know it's something to do with firefighting, but staffers who mercilessly booed New York Attorney General Letitia James and cheered support. Yada yada yada. She fired off an email. BITS is investigating this, so they will figure out who the members are. Hodgins wrote, "I recommend they come forward. I've been told by the commissioner it will be better for them if they come forward, and we don't need to hunt them down." We all remember this incident. Well, she's out of a job. I should say, I'm not sure if she's out of a job. She's out of that position because the news of the day, peeps. FDNY hooks new boss after commissioner threatened to hunt firefighters who booed Letitia James. Laura Kavanaugh, the first female commissioner is out. Announced last month that she would be stepping down. It's so effing terrible. This DEI stuff sets the groups that they purport to represent back decades. It promotes discrimination. It promotes negative thoughts about identifiable groups. The first female commissioner was a corrupt scoundrel who has to step down. The first female Black Indian vice president who became president is a crook, a fraud, a thief who stole the nomination. The first Black female attorney general in New York, I don't know if Letitia James is, but criminal. The first Black, I don't know if what's her face, Fannie Willis, criminal. It's just terrible. It's just terrible when it not merit based just leads to people getting hand selected, which through an invariably private but political process, and they are political hacks who get exposed for being incompetent, treacherous scoundrels. Didn't earn it. DEI. I love that, Bill Brown. And so they actually just they end up they sow more discord. It makes people now view anyone who actually earned the position with skepticism, with a stink eye. And it's terrible, but I think they do it on purpose. Let's see here. Laura probably got a higher paying job since Grumpy Old Man 1990. Okay, so let me see here. We're going to go to the chat. Do I have anything else that's of interest that I was wanted to talk about? No, we did good. We did good. I really got everything in the backdrop here. The Greece wildfires. There was somebody suing. Oh, this dude's suing Trump for using his music. Isaac Hayes, the son of Isaac Hayes Enterprises, suing Trump for unlawful use of his song in some campaigns. Nobody gives a crap. The kid. It's rice paddy to rice paddy in 3 generations. That kid's kids will not have a dollar from the legacy of that guy's father, who this guy's bilking to demand coerce millions for unlawful copyright infringement on music that his father created because he inherited the rights to the estate. Okay. Let's go to the chat. How do we do this? How does Barnes do it? If I refresh, I'm going to refresh the Viva Barnes Law.locals.com page, and I see comments on the left. Viva Frei. Why do they want everybody's guns? Says the Snoopy character on the left. Because they're planning to kill us, and they don't want to get shot. Hold on. I'm going to pee in my pants. This is funny. I'm actually going to go right ahead. Oh, no, I want to get that here and steal this. Save image as, and I'll go with Snoopy. Yeah, I'm stealing that, and I'm going to post that. That's fantastic. So, yeah, it's the most obvious question. So maybe they don't plan on killing us. Maybe they plan on imprisoning us. And they don't want to get shot. That would work just as well, and it would be slightly less hyperbolic, where people wouldn't be able to write it off reflexively. Okay, escape here. Escape. We've got Viva Frei. This is from Chiseli. I think Trump's best defense to any of Camel Toe's policies is, then why weren't you doing it now? Then why aren't you doing it now? 1000%. It's obvious. Also, why are you stealing my stuff? Michigan Winter Days has another cartoon. It says, what a rotten, let's bring this one up. I can do this now. Here, what a rotten day. No one remembered it was my birthday, but you didn't forget my birthday, did you, Mr. Saki? Of course I didn't, pal. You liar. Just for that. What the? Okay, I did not see that. Did I bring that up? Okay, that was too dirty. I mean, that's not dirty for me, but that might shock the sensitivities of some members of our crowd. Hold on, no, I'm bringing it back up because that's a double whammy punchline. Okay, and then surprise, and he's got a whole group of friends. All right, I'm gonna go right ahead also and save that and send that. Let's go cartoon. I'm gonna go send that to my parents after this one. Sorry to anybody who doesn't find that humor funny. That's funny. Because I actually thought the 4th square was going to be like a bunch of socks on the ground, like he had done this to other socks before, which would have also been funny. But that's even funnier. Okay, sorry about that if anybody finds that gross. LT Vista says, if they come for your guns, give them... Okay, I'm not going to read that. I'm trying not to get in trouble, people. Just call it Trump's no tax on tips policy, says Baskey. That last panel is great. Yep. Threw in the joke for a change. Michigan. Stephen Britton, don't self-censor. I'm not self-censoring for me. I've got a very crude, crass sense of humor. I appreciate that most people don't, or some people don't. That was hilarious. It's like that ad where the person gets in the car and then closes the door and the person like rips a fart. And then she goes into the other side. It's like, oh, have you met my friend in the back seat of the car? Oh, that's funny. Isaac Hayes was chef on South Park. Hold on, but now I'm actually totally senile. Why did I just get the Isaac Hayes name? I forget now. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's do a rapid fire. Get questions in on the right, and we'll see whatever I can answer. But I am bearing in mind, we got Paracleric, who's got everyone watching. This is funny. Nobody can see this image and not go, Beavis, you dumbass. Everyone watching the news unfold right now. Okay, so they're loaded up here and they're eating Cheetos. It looks like our French fries. Okay, we'll escape that and go to the chat for a few minutes before what time is it? Oh, but dude, we're doing good. This is perfect. Picture of an eagle. That's beautiful. Or a hawk. It's a beautiful bird. We got a meme about... I don't get this one with the Brits. I don't get it because I have not actually seen the movie, so I don't know the context, what follows, or what came before. I don't even know where this is from. So I don't know how sinister that's supposed to be by way of a meme. So I'm sure other people are going to get that one. And bringing it back. I got to pee. Who's on deck for the next interview, Michigan Winter Days? Okay, Vinny Oshana. I'm trying to schedule an in-studio at Locals interview with Vinny as the next one. And I'm trying to reschedule with Dave Smith because I still want to have that conversation, but we never made it happen over the summer, but everybody's extremely busy. It's from Game of Thrones, says Stephen Britton. Yeah, I never watched an episode of Game of Thrones. All right, I think we're going to end with this one after I take a few more questions afterwards. Here's another good one. We can do community memes. Oh, you don't need to fight them. You just need to convince the pitchfork people that the torch people want to take away their pitchforks. That's actually relatively poignant. Divide and conquer is what that is an iteration of. And let's go back down here and go back down to the bottom. Did you know Kamala's initials are KKK? Cackling coward Kamala. All right. Everybody, I'm going up and I think we're good. I'm going to refresh one more time and see if there's any more comments on the side, which there are not. But I've got my memes to share, so I'm going to. Locals, thank you for being here. I'll see what I do the talkie vlog on later on tonight. I'm going to go biking with my wife and see if we see the bobcat. I'm looking for my where's my knife? Oh, that's what I'm going to do here. Okay. So I'm gonna go packing. I'm gonna bring my up and L. So like if a cougar comes, I'm like, excuse me, Mr. Cougar, hold on one second. Damn knife, it's got a little twist lock. Okay, hold on. Go away, Mr. Cougar knife. I'm joking. We're gonna go biking and see if we see any deer, cougars, gators, and whatever. I said I was gonna give my legs a rest today, so maybe I'll do that. And that's it. The Time cover of photo Kamala, nose is wider. Photoshopped to make her more black, says Nada Taffy. Oh, the chat's still going on in Rumble. We're not still live on Rumble, are we? If that's true about the image, I'm gonna go check that up. And it's still 6. Hold on. Do I want to end the stream on Rumble? There's 6,000 people in the chat still. I'm gonna end the stream. I gotta do it. It's okay. I'm gonna go see if they actually photoshopped her face. All right, people, I'm gonna end it. We're gonna end it. Locals, I'll see you tomorrow, but I'll definitely see you on Locals later today with either a short video or just random post. Thank you for being here. And Bourbon with Barnes is on tonight. I think Barnes, I don't know if he was on today, but he might be on at 2:00. So if he is, go check out Barnes on Barris. And other than that, I will see you tomorrow. I'm gonna go exercise, pee-pee, and pick up children. Go. See you tomorrow, peeps. Booyah.